Hi, my name is Deanne Skelly. I'm the Program Director for the Bachelor of Medical Science and the Bachelor of Biomedical Science at the Nathan campus of Griffith. Just to let you know, these two particular programs are offered across two campuses, but I'll be specifically talking to you about the program that's at the Nathan campus. So basically, why should you be considering a career in biomedical or medical science? So if you're passionate about helping people, if you're passionate about looking at society and applying scientific knowledge to general healthcare, then biomedical and medical science would be a good fit for you. If you want to have an understanding about how we can diagnose and treat diseases, if you are a problem solver, you're practical thinking, personally for myself, I really enjoy working with data. Those are the sorts of characteristics that are very good for a person that's considering a career in biomedical or medical science. A key aspect of it as well is to be able to work in part of a team. So why study at Griffith University? Well, for starters, we have world-class, award-winning lecturers who can go and teach you in state-of-the-art facilities. Here at the Nathan campus, we have brand new buildings which are opening in 2021, which will house a large amount of the laboratories for teaching. Griffith University was the first university in Australia to offer a Bachelor of Biomedical Science, so we have a strong foundation in that area. We're ranked #1 for teaching quality in Southeast Queensland for natural and physical sciences. Also, you have the capacity to put your skills into practice with opportunities for work integrated learning and overseas community internships. Community internships can also be taken on campus or within Australia, but these two opportunities allow you to have real hands-on experience in your chosen area. You will also receive excellent training for entry into the Doctor of Medicine. So I'm talking about two different degrees here. The first one is the Bachelor of Biomedical Science, and the second one is the Bachelor of Medical Science, and there's a difference between them. First of all, for the Bachelor of Biomedical Science, it's a 3-year degree program. Full-time load means that each trimester you do 4 courses, and per year you do 2 trimesters. So that means each year you do 8 courses. It has a broader understanding of biology and diseases, and you have the capacity to be able to, if you're interested in going down to the Doctor of Medicine program, you're required to go and sit a GAMSAT test, which is an external test, and based upon your score for GAMSAT as well as the interview, you have the capacity to go over to a Doctor of Medicine. But biomedical science degree is much broader than that. You also have the capacity to go on to do postgraduate allied health programs, to do postgraduate research such as honours and a PhD. For the biomedical science program, we start out with a first year of foundation science, where we have fundamental knowledge which is taught in that first year. You will also find that in that first year you're studying with other students, Bachelor of Forensic Science, Bachelor of Environmental Science, a whole host of different students. Then from second year onwards you start to do specialisation. The beauty of the final year is that it's much more broader. There's a large number of courses that you can do which you specifically choose. These are what we call elective courses. Also in your final year you have the capacity to do a capstone, which is basically a course where you bring all of your knowledge together, or you can do an industry placement where you go out and work with our industry partners external to the university. For a Bachelor of Medical Science, this is a different program, but there's a large amount of course overlap. It's a 2-year accelerated program. Now, students that get accepted into the Bachelor of Medical Science generally have a higher ATAR score. It's very highly competitive because it's a 2-year accelerated program where once you complete your Bachelor of Medical Science, assuming you maintain your GPA above 5, then you go straight into the Doctor of Medicine program, which is taught down at the Gold Coast campus. If you do the Bachelor of Medical Science and maintain your GPA above 5, there is no need for you to do the GAMSAT test. So what's the difference in course structure? Well, Bachelor of Biomedical Science is 3 years. Bachelor of Medical Science is an accelerated program that's 2 years. For trimester 1 and 2 of those 2 years, you will do 5 courses compared to 4. And then over the summer, that is trimester 3, you'll do 4 courses as well. So basically, the Bachelor of Medical Science, we're condensing our 3 years' worth of study into 2 years. After you've completed your Bachelor of Medical Science, assuming you have a GPA greater than 5, then you have a position at the Gold Coast campus to do a Doctor of Medicine. So the 2 options are a little bit different, but a little bit the same. And what I mean by that is there's a number of courses across the 2 programs which are the same. The Bachelor of Medical Science, though, is an accelerated program, and entry into the Bachelor of Medical Science is much more competitive. You need a higher ATAR to be able to be considered for the Bachelor of Medical Science. So if you're interested in a career in medicine, there are different ways that you can do this. First of all, you can do a Bachelor of Medical Science, so long as you maintain your GPA above 5, as I've already spoken to you about, and you pass the course called Human Skills for Medicine, then you will get a position in the Doctor of Medicine program at the Gold Coast campus. Remember, the Bachelor of Medical Science is usually highly competitive, and students that receive the top ATAR score are most likely to get a position. If, however, you don't get a position in the Bachelor of Medical Science, you can do a medical degree if you come through a bachelor's pathway. So any bachelor pathway is fine. However, I would highly recommend that you do something like the Bachelor of Biomedical Science. The reason being is that because you get taught fundamental foundation knowledge so that you can do well in your later on assessment, which is necessary for you to go into the Doctor of Medicine. So say, for example, you do the Bachelor of Biomedical Science. The next step for you in your medical career is to do a GAMSAT. Now, a GAMSAT is an external test, and you're ranked basically against all other potential applicants within Australia. Your GAMSAT score, as well as your GPA, may lead you to being offered an interview. Now, this interview, you need to get a good score for the interview to then be offered a position in the Doctor of Medicine program. Some students are challenged by these interviews, and certainly as part of your undergraduate here at Griffith, we do help you with employability skills to try and help you with that interview process. Sometimes interviews can be in small groups, sometimes they can be in individual interviews, but that's just a different pathway compared to the Bachelor of Medical Science. So for both of these, once you then get a position in the Doctor of Medicine program, the postgraduate program, which means after you completed your degree, you can then, after you've completed that degree, be recognised as a medical practitioner within Australia. However, that's not the end of your studies if you wish to do so. What you can do is a Doctor of Medicine in addition to a Doctor of Philosophy or a PhD. And then from there, you can become a clinical researcher. Some Doctor of Medicine students, when they commence, have an interest in research, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them to undertake research and become a clinical research later on in their career. So how do you choose between the two? I've already described to you the difference between the two in their structure. That is, the biomedical science is a 3-year degree program, the medical science is a 2-year degree program. But the medical science program, remember, is the higher ATAR. So you need to get the best possible ATAR that you can to be offered a role. If, however, you're interested in learning much more broadly about biology and diseases, then I would recommend doing the Bachelor of Biomedical Science. Just be mindful though, to do the Bachelor of Biomedical Science and then to get into a Doctor of Medicine, you do still need to do the GAMSAT and you need to do the external interview. So what sort of careers can you have? Well, we've talked about the medical profession, but there's a whole host of other careers as well. You can go on to do medical research, you can work at institutions, government, you can work at universities. And you can also work in other areas such as pharmacy, diagnostics, biotechnology and health-related industries. To do these, often it's necessary to do a postgraduate master's, and the Bachelor of Biomedical Science at the Nathan campus sets you up very well for that, because we have a large choice in what we call elective courses in your final year that can help you in those particular career pathways. So further study from the Doctor of Medicine, as I've already indicated to you, if you have a bachelor's degree where you have a GPA that's greater than 5, you will need to do the GAMSAT and you will need to do the interview, which at Griffith is called the Griffith University Multi-Station Admissions Assessment, which is just the interview. So if you're keen to do the Doctor of Medicine and you're in the Bachelor of Biomedical Science, this is the pathway you need to think about. If, however, you're interested in other allied health, you could consider, after your Bachelor of Biomedical Science, to do the Graduate Diploma in Clinical Physiology, where following the completion of this course, you have the capacity to work in respiratory function laboratories, cardiovascular testing laboratories, sleep apnea labs, those sorts of things. You can do a Master of Science, where there's a component which is coursework, but there's also a significant research component to that as well. You can do other allied health programs such as pharmacy, speech pathology. Those sorts of areas are a great stepping stone from your Bachelor of Biomedical Science. Or if, like me, you're interested in doing research, you can do an honours year and then you can lead on to doing a PhD. Basically, the Bachelor of Biomedical Science is a little bit broader compared to the Bachelor of Medical Science, and this means that you have more capacity to choose what you want. So our graduates are working in a large number of different areas, including the Red Cross, including research hospitals, research foundations, and a broad range of other areas. A thing to note though is that with the Bachelor of Biomedical Science is that you have more choice. You have the capacity to choose the program and the postgraduate training which would support your undergraduate learning. Ed Leaney is a previous student from Griffith Bachelor of Biomedical Science at Nathan, and she really enjoyed her time at the university and especially the hands-on immersive experience. One of the benefits of Bachelor of Biomedical Science and a Bachelor of Medical Science at Griffith is that our research laboratories are state-of-the-art. We also have the capacity for you to work individually just as you would when you're working in a research laboratory. This means you get hands-on training which is relevant to the real world. Thanks so much for listening to my presentation today. If you want to find out more, we welcome you to contact us, and there's contact information which is present on the slide. Thanks again.